Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brian with Fire Mountain, and today we're going to be doing a little tutorial on how to make a survival bracelet out of paracord. I like to use this stuff. It's 550 paracord, and you can get it at Walmart, as well as these clips. These aren't my favorite clips because it has the two holes there, but it's okay. Still does the job. You'll need a knife and a lighter to heal the ends so they don't fray. Be careful to not burn yourself or cut yourself. And let's get started. You'll notice that I connected green and black in this one because I wanted to do a dual color. And it's pretty easy. You can Google how to put two colors together. Anyway, so you wind up and make sure you got your paracord straight and that there's no twists in it the best you can. I already flattened these edges with the lighter so I could fit them through the clip. So you push it from the underside and then you pull up. So you're basically making a cow knot. You'll notice that I start getting a little twist in this one, so just got to work it out until the twists are all gone. It's very important that you do it now rather than try to do it later, because it just gets harder and harder as the knots make it very difficult to straighten out. So once you have that all taken care of, just make sure that it's even. Tighten it down as much as you can. So now you want to feed the end of the paracord through the other part of the clip. And this is initially going to create your bracelet shape. And so I go back through the bottom just as if it was going to go on your wrist. And make sure that you don't get any twists here as well. It's very important to keep the string taut as you're doing it. And you can tell that the green piece that I have is a little messed up, but it doesn't matter in the end because it's going to be covered up. So at this point I unclip it and do a rough measurement to make sure that it's going to fit. My wrist is, well, everybody's wrist is different. I usually measure from the edge all the way to the top. I need it about 8.5, so that's where I do it. You'll just have to take a measurement of your own wrist. Make sure that you can get this thing on and off. If you make it too tight, you will pinch your skin clipping these things together. So I flipped the bracelet over and unclipped it, and I just set it up so that the strings are on opposite sides. And the string that I'm feeding through is basically just to keep a cinch on the bracelet as I'm pulling it tight. You don't have to do this. You can do it without one. I have mine hooked up to a little bungee cord so that I can really pull it tight. I like to make my bracelets really tight because after time they do kind of loosen up, and it's really hard to tighten them without taking them apart. So the tighter you do it when you create it, the longer it will last, basically. And if you need it in a survival situation, you can still take it apart, but it just doesn't lose that taut feeling when it's on. So now what we're going to do is, I want the black to be on the outside. So to do that, you have to start with the opposite color. So I end up starting with the green, and like I said, we're doing a Solomon knot. And so you loop the green color first, and after you loop that, the black is going to come in front of that loop and then back behind it, and then you just want to tuck it back through the loop, the green, and pull it through. And then slowly bring these knots together. You don't want to just pull it all together at once until you get going down the bracelet a little bit. You want to make sure you line up these knots as you're tightening them. After you get a few done, it becomes a lot easier to pull it tighter and tighter as you go down. These are going to be loose on those two strings, so you want to make sure you push it up each time that you do it. So then you want to continue by using the green each time. So I'm going to loop the green again. And then once again, put the black behind it and through the loop. It's a very simple knot. The most important part is keeping it nice and straight as you're tightening it. So I constantly readjust as I'm pulling on it. This is where that bungee that I have tied up to it really comes in handy when I want to make it nice and tight. So then I continue with the green, and once again the black goes in front of it and then back behind and through that loop. And this is your basic Solomon all the way down. As you can see, the black has become the color that's going on the outside of the bracelet. It's exactly what I wanted. And I'll just do a couple more, and I'll speed it up until I get to the end and show you how to finish off the bracelet. Make sure you push it up on the two strings so it's nice and tight. And just continue doing that same pattern all the way down. And you'll see it starts to go faster and faster. The more practice you have, the easier it gets. There's a lot of different knots that you can learn to make these paracord bracelets. Some of them are very difficult and you really got to pay attention, but this one you'll catch on really quick, and I think you'll find it's pretty relaxing little thing to do. And it's great to use out in the field if you ever need it. So it's a win situation. So I'll go ahead and speed up the video right here until I get to the end, and then I'll show you how to go ahead and finish off the bracelet. Okay, we're nearly at the end here. Got a couple more to do. One thing to keep in mind at the end, you want to do, when you think you can't put one more on there, you want to put one more on there. You don't want these knots to slide down and have gaps in between, so you really just got to push it up as hard as you can and fit that one last knot on there before you tie this thing off. So you can see right here, it looks like I'm done, but I decide I'm going to fit in one more knot, so it does make a difference. And then when I get this down, I have to do a little adjusting because it is so close, but it does help. And that's the whole bracelet. I'm going to go ahead and take off the little cinch off the bungee, and I'll show you how to go ahead and finish off the edges. Okay, so once you have it to the end, you flip it over. And this is where you'll take your knife and leave about 1/8 of an inch and just snip it as close as you can. And this is where you're going to use your lighter and heat it up. Try to get the inside to kind of become molten. You don't want to burn yourself. I use the edge of the lighter and just kind of smash it down and mold it against the rest of the bracelet so it's soft. You don't want any sharp edges from it drying, or cooling rather, to kind of irritate your skin while it's on. Then I go ahead and snip the last part. And go ahead and do the same thing with the lighter. And just smash it down. Usually turns out pretty well. If there's any white, I have a little trick that I use. I don't know what you guys use out there or any other paracord bracelet builders, but I use a little Sharpie, and this stuff stays on pretty much permanently. So you can just go ahead and wipe that little white thread away, and it hides it really well. So just a little trick that I came up with. I'm sure there's other better ways to do it, but that's what I've been doing. Nobody really seems to notice, and it comes out nice and clean. And there you have it, the finished product. So I hope this helped you, and if you have any questions, go ahead and leave comments down below. If you have any suggestions to help me make them a little easier, this is my first tutorial making one of these, so feel free to comment, bad or good, I'll take it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We do video content every week. Come check us out on Instagram as well if you get a chance, at the Fire Mountain, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.